forget your masks when you enter buildings because California is going back to that mask mandate.
A 60-foot-tall Torrey pine topples over and leaves a big mess. What the city and residents are doing to clean up.
If you don't know about this, you may get a visit from the recycling police. We'll explain the new program.
The state superintendent of equity handed in his resignation. What's next for the Department of Education?
And will a NASA satellite's collision with an asteroid put the Earth in jeopardy? We verified.
And Vista's Toy Man does it again, a tradition of giving for 33 years.
News 8 starts right now.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Chopper 8 is following a police chase in Mission Valley. Now, this began all the way down in the South Bay just after 4 o'clock, so we're coming upon 2 hours now. Police say the driver is a wanted domestic violence suspect, and around 4:15, police say he crashed his Jeep into a car on East H Street.
Now, he parked at the Village Mission Valley apartment complex just before the start of this newscast and took off on foot. Officers are now searching that area for him. This is just off Friars and Santo Roads. We're streaming this chase live still at CBS8.com. That is video from earlier this evening, but we will bring you more information on this situation. Again, he is taken off on foot, but we'll update it as new information becomes available.
Our other top story tonight, you must now mask up before you walk into any public building across the state, starting today and for at least the next 4 weeks.
Citing a sharp increase in COVID-19 infections since Thanksgiving, Governor Gavin Newsom has instituted a new mask mandate for the state for all indoor public settings, regardless of vaccination status. It's a story we've been following for you since the mandate came down.
News 8's Kirsten Holmes joins us live now with what you need to know and local reaction to the new mandate. The new old mandate, I guess you could say, right, Kirsten?
That's right. Okay, so we are here at the Claremont Town Square, where if you take a look behind me, you can see some folks are getting ready, coming to places just like this for their Christmas shopping. But as you make that list and check it twice, you can't forget your mask, because you're going to need it when you go into all public spaces like malls, stores, and anything that has public people or people from the public inside.
Come on, how long am I going to do this? 2 years, 3 years, 10?
Russell says he's frustrated that we're back to masks in California because he says he did his part to stop the spread.
And I'm vaccinated, so, you know, if you get it, it's on you if you're not vaccinated.
But Glenn and Sharon say the mandate is music to their ears.
Finally, because people are running around, you can't tell who's has been, got their shots or anything.
I've been wearing it all the time.
We always wear it because we're in our 70s, so we just, want to be careful.
In addition to the mask mandate, the state of California will also toughen restrictions for unvaccinated people who attend indoor mega events of 1,000 people or more, requiring them to get a negative COVID test within 1 day of the event if it's a rapid antigen test, or 2 days if it's a PCR test. The rule used to be within 72 hours of the event.
We want to keep people safe.
Jason Broad is with Sharp's community vaccine clinics and says they've seen an increase in folks wanting to get vaccinated, and now they can only take appointments. For those questioning why we need the vaccine and the mask mandate, Jason says,
we know that the vaccine is effective in preventing severe illness, and we also know that the vaccine doesn't prevent folks from getting COVID. And the best way to prevent that, again, is to, in addition to being vaccinated, wearing your mask.
David Middleton is a local employment and labor attorney.
There needs to be conversations had between employers and employees about their workplaces. What makes your employees most comfortable at work?
Kelly says she's just ready to kiss COVID and its restrictions goodbye.
A little surprised, but honestly, it's California, so I'm not too surprised. Like I said, I'm just ready for all this to be done. If that's what it takes, so be it.
That mask mandate starts now and runs through January 15th. And again, it applies to places like stores, restaurants, theaters, family entertainment centers, and government offices that serve the public. Now, to get full details of everywhere you're going to need to carry that mask, you can go to our website, CBS8.com, and click on this story.
Kirsten, here's a question that I think a lot of people are wondering. San Francisco has received an exemption from this mask mandate because they have a nearly 90% vaccination rate. So do we know if San Diego officials are considering this exemption? What's our vaccination rate?
Yeah, that's a good question. Our vaccination rate is comparable to that. We reached out to the County of San Diego and other officials to see if they had an update on this mask mandate. They haven't reached out back to us, so we're still waiting for their reply. But as of right now, everybody has to have that mask.
Mask on indoors. All right. Thanks so much, Kirsten.
Today, Governor Newsom was in Los Angeles to kick off a new statewide litter cleanup program where he also talked about the mask mandate that's now in effect. A reporter asked him, what's the point of the mandate if it's not backed up by any enforcement? Here are some of the governor's thoughts on that.
I think people are more capable once they're given the why and the what to apply themselves if they have in the past. And I think a lot of folks will self-enforce and do the right thing, and sometimes we need a nudge.
Governor Newsom says the state has seen a 47% rise in new cases and 14% rise in hospitalizations, and the majority of the 48 detected Omicron cases are individuals who are vaccinated. The point of the mandate is to get through the winter surge and to reevaluate, hopefully, once we're in a better spot. More encouraging news tonight about the Moderna vaccine's protection against the Omicron COVID-19 variant. According to a study by the National Institutes of Health, a third dose of the Moderna vaccine greatly improves protection. Dr. Anthony Fauci presented the findings today. He says 2 doses of the Moderna vaccine are not enough to neutralize Omicron. New CDC data shows the Omicron variant now accounts for 3% of infections nationwide and is more transmissible than the Delta variant.
From fallen palm fronds to massive trees toppled over, city crews were really busy today cleaning up from the big storm.
The damage includes several wrecked boats that washed ashore in Coronado. News 8's Heather Hope shows us how today's cleanup efforts went.
It is still a big day for cleanups for many residents and the city of San Diego dealing with the damage from yesterday's storm. Here at Richard Conwell's home, a 60-foot-tall Torrey pine was uprooted, fell over in his driveway, and blocked his neighborhood street.
It was raining, really windy. I heard a huge crack and then a big crash, and I knew something had come down.
A once towering Torrey pine tree came toppling down in the middle of Boquita Drive in Del Mar during Tuesday's big storm that brought significant rain and fast-moving wind throughout San Diego County.
We were just very blessed that nothing happened. It was pretty much a miracle that nobody got hurt.
Karen Vaughn snapped pictures of the tree down from across the street as her neighbors were trapped inside their home.
The drive is completely blocked from the major trunk of the tree, so we couldn't get out and didn't get out until actually this morning.
Despite the Del Mar mailing address, the neighborhood, sidewalks, and tree sit on San Diego city property. City crews cleared the Torrey pine from the road and driveway and chopped it up. It was a bittersweet tree removal for Richard Conwell.
I love the tree, so it's sad, but yes, it is because there's no longer a concern for safety.
Elsewhere in the city, cleanup continues. Our News 8 storm coverage showed plenty of palm fronds blown over in the street in Pacific Beach at Grand and Ingram. That foliage was still found today. Then in Hillcrest, a home on Richmond Street had a palm tree fall on its roof after being uprooted in the rain. City crews have since removed the tree. At our shore, several boats wrecked along Coronado Beach and at the North Island Naval Base, where aerials showed overturned boats wedged in the sand.
Things went pretty good. Things went pretty well. We had some minor flooding, street flooding incidents.
City of San Diego spokesperson Anthony Santacroce says the city responded to over 40 calls for storm debris removal and flooding damage. Crews are conducting a post-storm cleanup today.
They said last evening they're responsible for all the damage, but hopefully they'll be back and take care of it.
Heather Hope, News 8.
And we would like to see your pictures and videos from the aftermath of the storm. Just go to our News 8 app, click on the Near Me tab, select your photos and videos, and click Share with Us. To submit them to News 8, it's really easy. It's just like uploading to social media, and then we may share your videos and pictures here on our newscast.
The rain is gone, and so is an umbrella I had in the backyard for a brief period of time today, but I did find it. But the winter storm left behind a big chill this morning.
Did the wind actually lift it up?
Well, my fault. I didn't close it.
Yeah, well,
not real bright.
That. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is here early with what we can expect now that the wet weather has passed. Carlene, I have to tell you, my pillows, all my patio furniture, it's soaked too because I didn't move it in time.
Oh, mine was moved in. I didn't have that problem.
Okay, so see, together we would have been okay.
Yes. Well, collectively, we had a whole lot going on yesterday. Things are soaked. Things flew away. Thankfully, he found it. But yeah, we are talking about calmer conditions, but that chill that's in the air. We had daytime highs that were below seasonal for today. Widespread 50s for daytime highs, which the trade-off is those used to be our overnight lows. Currently a temperature of 52 degrees for downtown. Also talking about winds that are light out of the north-northwest at 5 miles per hour. So your overnight lows are going to be in the 30s and 40s. So still talking about a big chill in the air, and that's how we're going to start off tomorrow morning. Now we could see the development of some patchy frost across the inland valleys because of these low temperatures, especially when you're talking about 36 degrees being the overnight low for Ramona, as well as below freezing for Campo. You're seeing that all the way towards the mountains and desert. And we will have the 40s closer towards the coast. So the chill is going to stick around. Below seasonal temperatures in the afternoon hours will as well. And we are looking at a chance for some light shower activity. So still more wet weather in the forecast, just not as intense as this recent storm system. And that's developing by tomorrow night. So more details on that and Santa Ana winds and even more rain next week. Whole lot to get through coming up. Carla, Marcella.
Thanks, Carlene. The defense presented its case today as the preliminary hearing wrapped up for the sailor accused of setting fire to the USS Bonhomme Richard.
News 8's David Goffredson attended the hearing at Naval Base San Diego, where the defense tried to show the fire could have been started accidentally.
Could the fire that destroyed a $1.4 billion Navy warship have been accidentally started by an arcing wire or an exploding lithium-ion battery? That was the argument presented by defense lawyers in military court Wednesday during the last day of the preliminary hearing of sailor Ryan Mays. A forensic electrical engineer named Andrew Thorson spent 4 hours on board the USS Bonhomme Richard last year after it burned. He testified that a battery cable on a forklift near the point of origin had arced and sparked, melting copper on the cable. He also saw lithium-ion batteries in the lower V area of the ship that commonly explode and cause fires. ATF investigators ruled out those sources as causes of the fire, saying the fire was arson, possibly started with diesel fuel or paint thinner. Prosecutors allege Mays set the fire because he was a disgruntled sailor after dropping out of Navy SEAL training. Earlier in the day, a fellow sailor testified that the defendant saved his life shortly after the fire started by barging into his sleeping area and urgently telling him to get out of the burning ship. That sailor also testified Mays was wearing a green camouflage uniform, different from the blue coveralls a previous witness had identified the suspected arsonist as wearing. The judge will now have to review even more evidence and videotaped interviews before she writes up her recommendation, and it will ultimately be up to a vice admiral to determine whether Mays faces a court-martial. David Goffredson, News 8.
All right, David, thanks. Today, a new shelter aimed at helping San Diegans dealing with homelessness opened in the Midway community. The Community Harm Reduction Team shelter is located in the former Pier 1 import store on Sports Arena Boulevard. It's a collaboration between the city and the county. In addition to 44 beds, the facility will also offer services for those struggling with substance abuse and mental illness.
The goal of these programs is to provide unsheltered San Diegans a pathway to safe shelter and supportive services, which in turn puts them on the road to permanent or to long-term housing.
The facility will be operated by the Alpha Project, and outreach and case management will be handled by Family Health Centers of San Diego.